All right. Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. We're gonna get looking at the top watches for the day, basically off the top gainers, and then we're going to see if we can plan out SPY trade into market open. How's everyone doing? I want to just let people roll in for a minute. I don't want to jump too far ahead so quickly. On my first, I'm only halfway down first cup of coffee, so there's that. And let me see. Good morning. So you guys sound okay. You guys can hear me good. All right. So we had quite the blast, right? We had this huge blast after pretty much like into power hour on SPY. So we've been downtrending all day long, and we're gonna see if the market sets us up for a nice trap. Pretty much, we got this big pump up into after hours into morning, and then we just fall right off, or we just start to go higher and we blast through these pre-market highs to towards that 650 again. So I'm going to look through these levels here, see what we got. We got this gap up. I'm going to put this gap in on the chart, right? So I'm going to put it on the chart about here. This is a gap that it created overnight. So this is after hours, right? Closing at 8 p.m., open up at 4 a.m. And it created this gap up. So that's something that could potentially be filled to the downside. It's a small gap. It's not too big, right? We can bring it down a little bit, maybe down to there. So I will be paying close attention to there as well for a potential gap fill. And let me put some lines here. Put this line here. This is going to mean quite a bit, I believe, for today. And this is from that high of after hours, right? So I'm going to look at this area. If we lose this area here, I'm just going to look to fill this gap totally and aim for down here. I think it's quite doable just because that was quite the rip yesterday into the end of the day. I think there'll be some kind of little retracement there. If we're going to go higher, a little pullback, and then start building our way back up again. So I will be looking for a breakdown of 644 for a put, of 643 put for tomorrow's expiration. That's what I will be looking for today. I'm going to put here below 9. We're not at 900 yet, right? Below 644. And then the way to play this to the upside, it's going to be kind of tight here. I'm going to look to play above here. It's going to be a tight little range from bullish to bearish, but it's okay. And then what we're going to do, we're going to aim for up here. So we got ourselves a target. So this will be a target. I'm going to write it here. That target. And this will be the break above. Right? We want to break above 644.50 for a cool entry. And then I'm going to write it on these lines. And below 644 should be great. Exactly what I want to see. If I do it like that. And we're going to see this, look for a click below 644, a 2-minute candle, preferably 2-minute candle. And then we're going to aim for down here as a target. So this is going to be a target to aim for the downside. That's not very good. It puts it in the center of the line. So I'm going to say target down here. And then target up here, right, to the upside. So these are what I'm going to look for. A break 50%, 50 cent range from the bullish bearish to the bearish bias. So under 644, we take this down lower. Look for tomorrow's expiration, maybe $1 out of the money for that one, right? I'm not going to go so far out the money, especially being such a close expiration. And then upside, we're looking for a break above this area here. And then we're going to target this area up to 645. So I'd be looking to take calls, 645 calls at least, once we break over this 644.50 on SPY. So that's how I'm going to play it after market opens. It may take a little while, 5, 10, 15 minutes. We don't need a rush right into buying contracts. That's when people get burned pretty quickly, right? So we're just going to let it play out, and we're going to play, and we're going to follow what it gives us, right? We're not going to change everything just because of the way the chart is. We're going to let it fall into our hands and wait for these entries. I do want to also go through the watch list. How these are going to work, they're going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to look for a break, 2-minute candle break, at least a 2-minute. You can wait for a 3-minute if you prefer, for the extra confirmation for a 3-minute candle close above those entries. They will not become active until we start to see those breaks above. I don't know why my charts just stopped working. That's strange. Oh, here it comes. Hope you guys are still with me. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I have spotty internet this morning too, so we may have back and forth. Pookie may have to jump in as well if I lose total internet. But what these are going to do, we're going to look for a break, 2-3-minute candle break above these entries for them to become valid. If a wick goes up to those entries and it closes essentially below entry, that particular trade is not active until it does. I just want to make that very clear. I don't want you guys to jump in right away when we actually come up to that entry point. We want to see a 2-3-minute candle. I prefer 2-minute, getting a little sooner. Less risk, wait for the 3-minute, but we want to see it over those levels closing before we take an entry point. Because if it wicks up, comes back down, it still could be very bearish and can fall off pretty quickly. So I'm going to go through those. Neon is one that just got smashed. It was at $21. Let me put it on the watch list here as well. Make a brand new watch list for today. Thursday's watch list. Here we go. We got about 3 minutes, so I'm just going to put these on the watch list as Neon. There is BRIA. There is ZNB, and there is BBLG. Doesn't mean that these change. That these could easily change, right? The top gainers, something else may come out with news and take over. The top gain list may come in top, and we can switch to look at those if there's potential other setups with other stocks other than that watch list trade, right? So if there's something comes in with good news, we can flip and add that to our watch list as well. So I am going to add another one in, which is SIG-L. I'm going to add that one in because that one's up in the top. It's first in the top gainers. And then I also want to add SPY to this and Tesla because, these are option trades that have high volatility, high volume we can trade. See if it can take a little time, it looks like. And all these strategies that I talk about in this stream is a part of the coaching. So I see Pookie put it in the chat. You can click on the link, sign up for coaching, get more access to me pretty much all week long, helping you, guiding you with a strategy and a trading plan that works for you. Not every, someone may teach everyone one strategy, but that may not work. So that's why we have to be, we have to have different strategies in our arsenal to teach so that, maybe one works for you and the other one doesn't. So you can focus on one and not the other. With Neon, we had some news with Neon. I'm looking at it now. I believe they got paid up to $20 million from Samsung, a patent lawsuit settlement. They received up to 20 million. I don't know why we sold off so much. Maybe they were expecting more out of the actual settlement. So we're down 80% because of this news. So if you did follow me along on socials or you did follow me in Discord, I put a trade idea out as soon as we started breaking to the upside. And we got a nice trade up to about $5, up to 498, and our entry was 440. So we got a little scalp right once we broke VWAP in the SMA 20 right here. That's when we decided to alert that in the group for that trade idea, and now we're kind of falling off. So 930 just opened up. We're going to see if we can get a nice push back over, say, 460, and then we take this to pretty much pre-market highs. If we get that buying volume, just because we're down 90%, we may get a dead cat bounce kind of situation play out here. I'm going to watch that level down there because that's lower pre-market. And then our buy level is 460. And in between, I don't really want to trade it at all. So with this one, we're down 80%. This is going to be risky kind of trade because we're down so much, but we may get a dead cat bounce. So if we decide to fall down, we can look for a hold here and then potentially playing it off pre-market lows. That's another option. If we decide to push up here, then we can look for a push back above 460 and then play it to 5+. So there's two situations we can just focus on here. A retest of here, and that's 333, or a break above here to play momentum on the dead cat bounce. So either way, we're going to watch out for this particular trade. But I know it was at $21, but you also got to look at the weekly, go further out, and you can see it was down here anyways last year. So it can literally continue dropping if it doesn't hold this low of 333, right? And that kind of matches up with previous price action. It's pretty wild, that, right? You can zoom out and see that line that I put for the day of pre-market, that's a pretty big significant support here that's bounced off, that's been resistance and previously, and it's been a support. So we literally can come down there, retest, and start pumping right back up. Let's see what's happening now. This is going towards $4 already. Let's see. All right, so it's still pulling down. No buyers coming into the mix right now, right? Because we see just a lot of red volume candles here, right? So there's a lot of sellers still coming into this chart. So nothing to see on this one yet. Bell sound. Man, still got some kind of congestion here. So that one, I'm going to watch that one. Let's go to Bria. Did this one pump already? Nope, it's falling down from a big move that it had. Thank you so much for that, Dave. We had that one-on-one yesterday, so thank you for saying that. Yeah, it was great one-on-one, the lifetime members yesterday. This one also, Bria, we pulled back. We had the big move, but we can literally bounce right from this area here, right? This is where we bounced from after the big move yesterday after hours. We pushed into pre-market not very long, about 4:15, and then we started falling off. So we got this support here, and we bounce off this here. So we are going to watch this level in particular, this Bria level, and we're going to watch for a break above here. So say about, what is that? Might as well say a break above 5. Once we get above 5, we can aim for 520s, 530s, and then we can start aiming towards the top of this area here. So if we can get back above 5 for Bria, then I do like this trade for a particular reversal off those lows. And then we start moving up from there. And this strategy can be very simple. If you just focus on one strategy every single time on playing momentums, you can literally just play the same thing over and over and over. It may be boring, but your P&L is not going to be boring, is it, once it's very consistent and positive. So I would just look for kind of focus on this one is the SMA 20, the VWAP volume. That's what I'm looking at for these momentum trades. If none of those are in sync with each other, you're likely to see the chart fall off. Thank you for that update, JY. This is ZNB. Let's see what this one's doing. Oh, this one's pumping. Nice. And also, if these are not something you want to trade, these momentum trades, get into the swing trading, guys. If you don't have much time and you just want to build positions into swing trades that you hold for weeks, months, maybe days, if you're lucky, this one ripped. Look at this one go. The volume flowed right into this one, ZNB. We got higher day of 295. But if these don't work for you, get into swing trading. American Eagle. We just put that one out, rest and retire, and in the swing trading section in the 10s and the 9s. This baby's hitting $18 nearly today after earnings. So you can literally get some really good profit and maybe lower risk by focusing on swing trading setups, especially if you work a lot. If you work 9 to 5 and you don't have too much time to check and watch the charts all day long, then that's something that may interest you much more. So let's see what SPY is doing. So this one's ripping. This one's already hit the target. So at this point, you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. Oh, my internet's so slow today. Sorry, guys. Charts are taking forever. I think we just lost our entry point anyways that I put out this morning. We got to our target, the bullish target already on SPY calls. So it loaded up right here, right? We look for that move above that 644.50, and we're already up to that target. We already hit high day of 645.30, so we got a bigger move than that target. Now we're just going to see what happens here. Do we get full rejection? We pull the way back down. Maybe we bounce right off this level, or does this get eaten up? We have to see what happens with this one. Let's get something real quick, guys. So we have some internet password changes, so I have to fix this real quick. All right, perfect. So SPY did hit calls, but we did pull reject right off that target point. So that's something to watch to see if we hold up here or we just fall right down after that pop. That's something to watch. I haven't got into this trade, but I'm willing to get into a trade if it sets up again. What Neon's doing. And a good time to ask questions too, or look at any charts that you guys have that maybe you want to trade. Let me know as well. Neon is bouncing from, it didn't come all the way down to these pre-market lows. It kind of came into the mid-range of that, which I'm not going to trade, right? I prefer to trade once we break above here. So I'm still going to look for a 460 break to play this to 5. or we're gonna get rejection here at VWAP, which is something I use a lot in day trading to show us bullish or bearish bias. This orange line. So we will reject here and fall down lower, or we can start pushing back up to potentially our entry point. Stacked still bearish on the techs, on the momentum, still mixed bearish. So there's also that we can watch. The volumes more bullish, coming in more buying pressure now. MACD is still bearish. Systolic RSI is still bullish as well. So we're just going to watch this one, right? Just watch and wait. Go through the chat here. Yeah, Adrian, it may not pick. It may be very sideways and jittery today, SPY. So that's something that we need to just watch and see if something sets up for us. Because I prefer to see a nice clean trend day than try to scalp it up and down for pennies. So I'm gonna just be watching to see if we can get any potential clean trend on SPY today. I'm going to focus on Neon right now just because we're not in the actual entry point, but I like to get in and watch before it hits entry and not rushing into anything. So I'm going to just leave this one on the screen and see if we can get a prime set up on Neon for this reversal. Danny boy, so that's an indicator that I don't kiss and tell. You're going to have to rock, paper, scissors to get that information. So Neil, what we got on the screen right now, we got the VWAP on the chart. We have the SMA ribbon, which I made the custom indicator based on my strategy. And it's the ribbon. The green is an entry point once we get above. The red is a buffer point where you can use as a stop loss too, right? So it's very, very effective to use this ribbon because you can get a nice clean buy signal based on the ribbon and a clean sell signal once we lose the red line and it gives us a sell signal. You should leave the trade not in a loss. You should leave it at least break even or in profit if you go from the buy signal to the sell signal. Even in day trades, that's how it should be. You shouldn't be losing huge amounts of your money. So this strategy keeps you at a nice entry point and exits the trade with still some profit on the table if you just go by the signal of the SMA 20 ribbon that I made up here with the green to red effect on the ribbon. That can just help you and guide you to going bullish, going bearish, and kind of where the trend is. So Neon's trying to push. We're at 431. We're not far away for 460. I would prefer a move above 460, then a retest, and then push off. That would be my ideal entry. But sometimes we don't get that. Maybe we just get a blast right through it. So we also have to watch that as well, right? I prefer a retest though. So we're pushing up 442. If we're going to get this momentum push, it's going to come to us. We don't need to jump in now thinking, oh, okay, I'm in early. This is a great entry. I'm in super early. That's not going to help you because it's still not in a bullish push right now. It's reversing from those lows, but we're still not pushing higher grounds, right? So we want to see that first before jumping into a trade. I'm not just going to jump in early because I can get a discount. No. Because this could go horribly wrong if it doesn't get above 460. Figma had earnings yesterday. It got smashed down. It's down to 55.34. Hopefully none of you guys played the IPO at $100 when it was after IPO and still in this position because you will be down quite a bit at this point, 50%. So now I will be looking for Figma just because I've looked into the company. I like their growth, their potential. I am going to look to build position once it settles down. Once we hit once we get a low in place, I am going to start building a position in Figma and see what we can get there. That's one I will talk over in my coaching program. So ZNB is up to 320. Anyone trade that off the watch list? If you did, smash that profit channel with those profits, because that was a clean move from our entry point. And some of them may be like this, and some of them may not hit entry. Just focus on the ones that have the volume, the ones that we break above entry with velocity, and then focus on those ones. So this one was a break above 230. This is up to 327 high. So this is clean volume coming in, break of VWAP, break of SMA 20, and off we go. We've got a lot of text on the right side. Trend is all positive right now as we're looking at it, right? So it doesn't mean jump in right now. YOLO, let me jump in. No, you missed the trade entry. That's okay. You can look for smart pullbacks, to particular areas before just jumping in at a higher day. You're gonna get burned. We don't want to see you with no money at the end of this day. So just be very smart. And this has a huge gap up. What is this? What was this? This all-time high is 4,600. My Lord, how many times has this been reverse split? One time here, one time here. So 2 times it's been reverse split. Oh my Lord, this one sucks on the bigger time frame. But I'm sure the float is low. 500,000, really super low float. 583,000 outstanding on the free float. That's nothing. This one could be one that just keeps on going all day long. Looks like it wants to take out this high. Let's go through here. I'm going to look at this one. Looks like it wants to go. I'm gonna have Neon on my top screen. Neon's trying to push, guys, so it's getting close to that being above 460. It's at 453 right now. I'm going to go back to that one because that one's a better setup than this one. This one's kind of right. It's right, already rode out into the sunset with our target, so I don't want to force anything there. This one's very close. So we retested 460 and we got rejection here. So we're getting very close to an entry point for Neon. And then once we go green, once we go green in our P&L, we shouldn't be going red in this trade whatsoever. So I'm going to be looking for that break above. I'm going to move that out the way. We're just going to watch it and see if we can finally get above it and start aiming for up here or not. Or not. Neon, get in there. It's getting in there, Charlie. Not quite there yet. BBLG is spicy. What's that one doing? 290, and the entry is at 282. So it's right close to that entry point now. Well, it's above the entry point. So we'll see what happens to that. It's 293. So this one's from 282 entry. You shouldn't be going red on this trade whatsoever. You should have protection in place. It doesn't matter if it's not at target 1 yet. You shouldn't be going red in that trade on the way to target 1. You should be thinking about having protection, break even, or in profit at that point. It's up to $3, 301. So that BBLG first target hit. No need to go red there. I do want to go to Tesla, but I'm just going to watch for this setup, guys. It's all about patience, preparing yourself. It's not worth jumping between 10 different tickers and then just missing a really good quality setup on the first time around. So I'm just going to sit and watch this one play out, prepare myself for an entry, have it on my watch list ready to go on my platform, and then trade it if it sets up. And then if it falls down, then that's the time when maybe I flick to another trade to look at it. ZNB is hitting highs, so if you're in ZNB, make sure you leave with profit there. Start to a new high of day, 334, 335. Tesla. Everyone's trade right there. Everyone wants to be the master at Tesla. That's the trade. So Neon is still here, guys. Still watching Neon, seeing if we get a break up here. Looks like the juice is falling off a little bit. We're still mixed on the text, though, on the trend, still mixed, so it's not all bearish. But the momentum's kind of falling off a little bit. Doesn't mean we don't hold this area and start bouncing right here. We're going to watch for that. ZMB hit a high of 341. So you got yourself around 50% profit from entry. Yeah. Very close to 50% return there. ZNB. Okay, this one's kind of slowing down. Let's go to Tesla, see what Tesla's doing. Let's flick between. Let's flick over to Tesla. Filled that gap right after overnight gap. It filled it already. This one was a better trend to trade. Things are looking pretty bearish for Tesla. Let's see what we have for the day. I'm going to put here low of day. Let's put that low of day in place. Put here low of day. We hold that low of day. Let me go to the 2-minute time frame. So downtrending. But as long as Tesla holds this low of day, that's 333 on the dot. If it can hold 333 and start pushing back above, if we start pushing back above 335.62, then I take a call right up to these highs of day. So I will start taking a positive move if we hold this low of day and we get above VWAP. So 335.60. If we break over that with some good volume, I think this one can push back to kind of where it was yesterday. So maybe we go to 340 plus on some calls if we can start breaking over 335.60. Now, if we break this low of day, then I do like downside potential there. So it's all about just planning the trade out. And I'm going to put a line there at yeah, it's right on that actually. So above calls. And I'm just going to look for that. It's still downtrending though. You guys see that? It's still in a downwards momentum. If we put the line across the top of this candle and across of this hump, we're still seeing lower highs, right, and lower lows. So we need to break that cycle for us to turn more bullish here on this trade. BBLG hit secondary target. Okay, so it's up to, well, it's still at $3. Neon is pulled back. SPY is kind of flat. So if we're going to break this low of day for Tesla, it will be a quick put trade. But I do like puts here if we do lose this low of day for Tesla. I'm going to take some profits on my American Eagle trade. If you got into also calls, you remember that we got into some leap calls. We were talking about it during Traders Paradise when we were in that in-person event that we had. We were buying calls, super cheap, $10, $11 calls. I believe it was $11 that we added. About $1.20, $1.30 is when we were averaging out. And there were calls for the year out. Those are up. Let me see. I don't know if anyone's got those still and can tell me quicker than I can go look. But they should be up. Yeah, they're up to $7.25. So if you grabbed it around the first time that I called that out, and we got 2026 January expirations, they're up about 400% from that entry, that first entry. We averaged down a little bit on those during Traders Paradise, but they're up 400% from the first entry on those leaps. So we got ourselves $11 calls. That's what we grabbed, and our returns are huge. Even if you grab just one contract, back then you're up about $500 on just one contract you made back. So that's really good return on $145 investment. You got yourself $500 return. I think it's $550, something like that. So really good there. Neon. Yeah. Okay, this one, much. STI is bouncing a little bit. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, so BBLG got to 354 there. Clean move. It's not something with BBLG. We didn't really fall off to get stopped out. It had a very clean move if we go to BBLG. This one, we go to a 2-minute time frame. It's a nice clean uptrend from the get-go. We didn't really fall off at all on this one, right? So if you look at the chart from the very beginning of the day and we moved up here, our entry was above 282. And it's not something I just making up these numbers. We're looking at breaks of certain things, right? We're looking at SMA ribbon break and VWAP break. A whole different kind of trader comes in once we break over those levels. Momentum traders come in, day traders come in, scalp traders are coming in. They want to take this baby higher. So you can see our 282 got eaten up right here. We pulled back, held VWAP, held SMA 20, and then ripped from there. So that is a really clean signal. We got a 282 entry up to 356 high of day, 357. This baby's going now as well. And what do you do now? If you're in this trade at 282, what are you going to do? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Are you going to just YOLO and don't have anything set up to take profits? Or are you going to be smart about it and have maybe some trimming your position or raising your stop up now to protect the position? What are you going to do at this point? Move brackets up as it moves. Yeah, Fergie's one of the smartest traders I know. So yes, my kid's so funny. He's trying to unlock the door. He's a smart boy. Only 2 years old, and he's trying to unlock pick the lock on the outside. So 370s high of day. At this point, you're in at 280. There's no need to panic. because you grabbed it on the entry and the break that we were looking for. And at this point, all you're worried about is protecting your profits. You're not going to leave this trade now red whatsoever. You should feel relief. Now the plan is, where do you take profits? Do you trim your position? Do you raise your stop up? That's totally up to you as a trader. But don't go red in this trade. At this point, you can look at previous. Thank you for the keys, buddy. Thank you so much. He threw some car keys underneath the door. So what we can do is look at levels, right? And we can say, well, we hit this area here as a resistance point, this again here. If you want to try to stay in this or trim your position and you want to stay in with a little bit left, maybe that will be your stop loss if we lose it. Because then we have a chance to fall all the way back down to maybe this area here. So it should be just very simple now where to figure out where your stop should be. If you're going to put stop in place, are you going to trim your position, then have 10% left or 20% left? And where's your stop going to be on that last position if we fall down and it doesn't continue up? That's something that you want to look at. Maybe a previous resistance that it found very hard to get through. Maybe that's going to be your stop, max stop on that particular trade. That's 315, so you're still losing 40 cents, 30 cents, so maybe that's too much and you want to raise it up a little bit more. That's fine too. Go new high, 385 there. So we got new high there. Neon is still at 446. Don't forget 460 is what we're looking at, the break. Tesla's just hanging out. SPY's just hanging out. Tesla's just flat at the moment. If you look, that hasn't got through the low of day. So we're just going to be waiting for that lower day break for a put trade. It'd be a day trade, or we go above our entry for that call. Always good to have two options for bullish and bearish. You don't need to just focus on one. But that's what I would look for, a break of lower day and look for that momentum to the sell side to then grab and maybe scalp some puts there. And they're weekly, so there will be tomorrow's expiration. Maybe go 330 puts if we lose this 333. And then here, if we go above our white line for the calls, then we go maybe 340 calls. Well, tomorrow, or you can do next week. It's if you want more time next week. Really need the market to bleed. That's when people, they all believe that, and then the market rips. When there's so many people believe that, when there's too much negativity going on in the market thing, and there's going to be a pullback, then that's when you get surprised and it goes to all-time highs again. So 331 break for Tesla. We've been sitting here for a while now. It's 30 minutes into market open. It feels like it's 2 hours. I need a trade. Joking. So we're starting to break down a little bit, but that 331, we know that's significant. If we lose that, we got the volume break, then this one looks primed for more downside. And then what we can do is zoom out a little bit. That lines up pretty well here. And we can look at previous price action, maybe for targets, right? So if we lose, what are we looking, 333, then we can aim for here. And then we can aim for as low as down here if it gets nasty, right? So that's what I'd be looking at. to take this down to 331 and change is the first target. Then if we really start coming into selling, the volume comes in strong, then 328 is not out of our option here for a target point for Tesla. Yesterday it got that low. It can definitely do that today. MBY is still going. MBY is just ripping. Just every day I've been seeing this one slowly go up 20%, 25%. Right now it's up 27% and going. We were talking about this at 170 break last week. This one's a slow mover. So this is it right now. We're looking Tesla's stacked bearish. We're seeing all the trend bearish. We're seeing volume bearish, RSI bearish, MACD bearish. It's stacked bearish at this moment. So SPY is coming down too. Let's see. This one looks like it's coming down to our target. Let's go to SPY and see what one, if it's setting up to our bear side as well. Yes. So we're starting to fall off, roll over a little bit here as well for SPY. See if it updates with my entry points or not. The entry point is loss of 644. We're very close. We're right on that line right now. So this will be where I'll be watching for some puts, and I'm going to line this one up as well in my account. SPY. And I'm going to watch for that breakdown. I'll be going September 5th, and I'll be going for 643s. Maybe grab a couple. If it loses that, grab like 3 contracts max. About $200 a contract. This moment. So 643 puts for tomorrow is what I'm looking to take. Once we lose that level there, 644, we may just bounce. So that's why I'm not gonna buy it yet. I'm very close here to an entry. Tesla's heading down to that first target. It's in the 331s now. Anyone grab some Tesla puts? Nice one there. Took 3 trades, successful. Time to follow my rules. See you at 11 o'clock. Okay, Charlie, nice stuff there. I'll see you in the coaching stream. About 50 minutes, we got that coaching stream. Okay. I'm going to take a couple of these puts here, and let's see if we can make some money. We got about 30 seconds for this candle to close. So if it closes below this line, I'm going to just take maybe 2 or 3 contracts max. 643s for tomorrow. And this is my target point down here, about 643.29. Stack bearish now. Okay. I'm ready to add two contracts in a second. I'm gonna see what this one does. See if we get a retest and then rejection off a retest, and I'll take some. Or we just fall down, let's see. Still stacked pretty bearish. I want to see what this candle does. I want to see if we retest that white line and just fall off, and then I grab those 2 contracts. So right now, aiming for that downside move. Get rid of the upside. This is what I'm going to aim for. So this candle bouncing now, so it's not something I want to grab if it's going to start pushing back up here. So I want to see. My plan is for a rejection and then add. And I'm not going to adjust my plan because the chart's doing something funky. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm going to just focus on that rejection. We got 24 seconds of this candle. Let's see if we get a pop and we close below it. Yeah, Mr. OG, it'd be 643 puts for tomorrow. But they're not going to be active yet because this candle is closing above that white line. So it's invalidated that move, an entry. So it's trying to push right off that entry point now. So I'm not going to, I'm glad I waited for that next candle. So let's see what this candle does. If this one just falls right below, I'm going to take them. We'll see. Oh, American Eagles close to $18. ASAN, Asanya was one that we did in the swing trading for a swing, and our average was in the, I think I just bought once in the 14s. We hit 16 plus yesterday with earnings, so that was a successful trade there for a swing trade. Firm is back up to 90. Insane move with a firm. People are just buying now, paying later. It's kind of scary. So we got SPY pushing right up there. Glad I didn't take the trade right that minute, and I just waited for that next candle. We're gonna see now if what way it sets up again. It could be very choppy inside of this low tight range, and I'm not about trading into those channels right now. So I'd rather just wait for a clean breakdown to play this. Buys at 643.50. Copy. I'm waiting. I'm betting it doesn't. Free money. Tesla covered calls. That's swing and bull right there. Setting some covered calls. Making some money. New positions. 332 puts. All right. What else we got, guys? A little bit like paint drying right now. It's not time to just jump into anything. It's just kind of watching paint dry. SPY is flat. Tesla looks better to the downside. If we look at Tesla, does look better to the downside. Did we get to our first target there? I think so, yeah. We did get to our first target on the breakdown of 333. We got down to that 331.97. We bounced right on that line. Pretty crazy how that happens, huh? Got some demand down there. Pretty wild how that happens. So we're back. What are we at now? Retest of that previous low. Looks like we're gonna set off here on Tesla. Let's go to SPY again. So choppy, but Tesla looks like it's gonna fall right off to the low day. Okay, let's see if we get our entry point now. I'm gonna add some of those puts. Yeah, I'm gonna add some of those puts here. There we go. Wow, that was quite the candle, huh? Whew. What's going on here? Is there any news out? It's quite the move on that one candle, rolling right off. I don't know if that's just a glitch going on. I don't know. Let's see. Looks like SPY just wants to fall off right here towards that target. So looking more bearish now, right? We got a little pump right up here, rejection up here, and now falling off. So it looks like it wants to roll right off here. I'm also on my top screen watching Neon, see if we get an entry there. Still chilling at 435, so I haven't lost sight of that one yet. What's Snapchat's doing? Snapchat's all the way down to 710. Yeah, follow through here. So those puts should be up nice for you if you grab them. Let's see what I got here. 10%. That's all I got for that little move. Let's see if I can get 20% out of this. How did this? Also, I would like to go to Forex Factory and see what non-payroll employment change, 54,000, came in much lower. Also, it came in at 10 o'clock, ISM service PMI. So we can see here, levels of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers excluding manufacturing industry. Usual effect, actual greater than forecast is good. Above 50 indicates industry expansion. Below indicates contraction. So we're at, what did we get today? So 52, so very positive so far for that ISM index information. That's also highly impacted. The market moves pretty volatile on this news. So that came in better than expected. Unemployment came in higher than expected. So when you look at this, like, I believe we're not doing very well in the job market right now, and I see that the job openings were much lower, and there's a lot of things going on in the job industry in that market right now. So I think if the inflation doesn't force Fed to cut, the job market will, and I think that's what's going to happen in September, and that's kind of what I think Fed Powell kind of mentioned in that conference last month, that they're worried more about the job market at this point, right? So I think that will force their hand if the inflation's still not where they want. I think the job market will force their hand to bring down rates. And that may boost short term the overall market. We'll see. Choppity chop. Look at that. That's why it's just chop city in these things. No clean trends. It's just every kind of drop gets eaten back up again. Don't like that. But I'm gonna stay in those two contracts that I have. I will really just flip out of this if we get back above VWAP and start blasting above VWAP. This is kind of what happened yesterday. If we get above VWAP again, then I just cut. I won't be adding. I won't be trying to average down. I've cut those puts for the loss. It's okay. A few leaps I bought earlier this year, based on what I learned from the Norwegian. My lord, 122% from Norwegian. That was all you. I mean, you're the one who pressed the button, TNT. You've been fantastic, like family, basically family to us. Those calls on SPY, crazy, 500%, amazing. Google calls, you're up 399%, and all this works with just simple strategy. You can find these type of trades that can run for that. Norwegian, I still feel like is an underdog in that industry, and it's profitable. So I feel that Norwegian has a lot more upside. So that was a great little pick that you got for 2027, which you got some time there on those contracts. Hell yeah! So that literally can keep growing for the next year or so. As long as Norwegian keeps growing, everything grows in the revenue and the bottom line, the income. We don't have another pandemic, then that will just keep on going higher, right? So that is amazing to see those kind of returns. That's how effective swing trading can be on option leaps. We can go to Norwegian and have a look. Neon may be the one, guys, that takes 3 hours to set up, and then finally when it sets up, everyone's kind of just sleeping on it and it goes. So just have Neon on your watch list and make sure just to flick back and forth to check the chart, see if there's a setup there. You can also right click and put an alert on the TradingView or on Webull, whatever you use. Right click, put an alert, and it can give you a signal once it gets there. Norwegian though, like I just look at the bigger time frames here on Norwegian. I'm sorry my charts are so slow today. So slow. My lord. If we look at like the bigger time frames, I got a few things on my chart. It seems like this is pretty much a nice base that we look at, a nice trend line that started from 2022. And it's just bounced ever since. If it pulled back, like this went to a high of 29, pulled all the way back down to this trend line and demand zone. Then you picked it back up at 16 area, about 16, and it's all the way at 25 again. So zooming out for Norwegian, I mean, we have potential to go all the way back to where it was before COVID. And I don't see why we can't get up there, at least get up to the next target of 33, which is this last hump. And then once we get above 33, we have some room to go to 39 and then 45 and then 60. And that's where I would be looking to take this. I like everything's shouting to me bullish, right? We got the text showing us very simple data right there on the chart showing us RSI is very bullish, MACD is very bullish, volume's bullish, trend above the SMA 20, above, we don't care about VWAP in long term. So it's above SMA 20, price action is strong. We also got the curl behind the price action with the SMA 20 ribbon. So everything's shouting at me. This could be a great sell to go long, just keep on, adding to my position as long as that keeps happening. And then up here, this is before COVID, where it was at the highs. if you go to Royal Caribbean, and this is a great success story for Royal Caribbean. This is one a long time ago. I was grabbing this. I was on a road trip, and I believe I was going to the mountains. I was staying at like one of these what do you call them? Like a log cabin. And I was staying there, and on the way to the north of Atlanta, to Georgia, north of Georgia, I was grabbing this at like a rest stop, and it was so cheap in the 30s, 40s. We were grabbing this, and back then maybe I thought I was crazy for doing it, but long term, I'm not crazy whatsoever. Um, so this one, like, what a success story, right? Because we're talking that this Royal Caribbean was at all-time highs before COVID at $133, right? 134. Dropped all the way down here to 17, and then we came all the way back down to 30s right here. This is when we grabbed it and loaded it right here. And look where it's at now, $359. This is crazy. And it's engulfed all the previous price action before COVID. It's a better company. It's got new ships, making more money. These kind of things can really play effect on the price action on that actual chart, right? So you can see the surprise beats that they've been showing with earnings. They have a dividend now. They got really strong net margins now, and if you look at it previously, 2020 with COVID, it got smashed, right? Now it's going back profitable with strong margins. So no wonder we got this kind of move. Now, if we go back to Norwegian, here. Extreme greed. Look, it's 100% greed on Royal Caribbean. So what's the next best thing that people want to grab? Maybe they don't want to grab that top of Royal Caribbean, so they're going to look in other stocks, other companies that are in the same industry that have that potential as well. So we can go down to Norwegian. They had some surprise negatives, but tiny. Before that, they got some nice beats. And then if you look here on the chart, we were very negative net income margins. And now we're showing 9% on the net margin, net income of nearly $1 billion on their revenue of $9 billion. So this one could potentially follow right behind Royal Caribbean as long as this keeps on growing here. And to do that, you just got to research and listen to the earnings and read over the earnings and see what is going on underneath the bonnet, the hood, right? So these are ones that may take some time, but instead of flicking between 20, 30 different swing trades, this one could set up long term for you and yield, 100+% with a low risk. So definitely, swing trading can be for a lot of traders out there trying to be momentum, trying to day trade, but then deep down inside, maybe this works better for them. And you don't have to stress out about looking at the screen all day long, right? So nice stuff there, TNT. You're the best. You're the best, and I'm so happy that you're doing these kind of trades and making that money. Oh goodness, Jamia. Oh my Lord, it's the Amazon of Africa. Yes, and Neon, let's go back to Neon before we jump on out. I got like 5 more minutes, so I got to jump out and prepare for take a little break, prepare for the coaching. If it ever get to Neon, then we can look at it. Neon's now getting above 460. So, and this takes so long. Trade's going to be done before my chart shows. Yeah, looking very positive now. So we're on a 2-minute time frame. So we got above 460 here. This next candle wicked down, but ultimately closed above 460. This next candle did the same thing. So this is where we could get, as long as we stay above 460 here, I think we can get that momentum to $5 next. And you can keep your stop pretty tight here. If you risk 5% on the downside, make sure that your target is at least 5% to the upside on this equity trade. If you're risking 10% stop, you better be getting 10% out of your trade and make sure that you can, that it's doable before jumping in. So this one took a bit of time, but it's trying to push now. Still going to be in those SPY puts until we break over that VWAP. So that's where my stop is on those SPY puts. Keep it very tight to that VWAP. I'm going to say like another 2 more minutes, guys, and I'm going to jump off. Watch this one though. As long as if you're in this trade now that we're above 460, we've seen some candles close, right? Now it's time to have a plan to, okay, make sure you have a stop in place and know where you're going to start taking profits, right? If our entry is at 460 and it's at 480 and it's not quite at $5, make sure you don't go red in that trade now. You know, you work so hard to prepare for it. At least break even or a little bit of profit leave with. You don't have to just wait all the way to the target. You can just put a protection in place right away once you're up a good amount and don't go red anymore. It's up to 475 now. So we're a good 15 cents above entry. So I would throw right in, personally, my stop loss right at break even. I mean, maybe Weeble's a little different. It's an anchored, it's just a VWAP. On TradingView, this VWAP, rolling VWAP is what I use. Maybe that's the difference. So now we got to 480 there. So this is a successful trade. We waited for 460. Now our stop should be at 460, break even or above. You can be above and take a little bit of profit. It's okay. Oh, VWAP session. Yeah, I use a rolling. SPY looks like it's bouncing up here, so I have to be very careful on those SPY puts. I'm just putting my stop in place now. We've got a pretty nice bounce on everything, right? So Tesla's bouncing from that low of day. It's up to 334 now. So not really a clean day to any clean trend days. Really not showing too much today for the option side. But I do like the momentum side. They gave us some good profits on BBLG, ZNB, and Free I didn't set up. And we're looking at Neon now, setting up perfectly for us, 481. So we're on some good profits, guys, 483. No need to go red on this trade whatsoever. Now it's time to think about what's the game plan for taking profits. Just an equity trade, PW. Yep, absolutely. No options, nothing like that. All right, I stay another 2 minutes to 10:35. Then I have to wrap this up, guys. They're gonna kick me off this stream if I don't wrap it up myself. And if this falls from here, it's okay. You break even, you get out break even, or you get out a little profit. It's okay. It's a successful trade. just planning ahead of time is a success in itself. Should have some background music here, right? Like yesterday. I'm missing the background music. Where's the background music at? I have earphones today. So okay, I will see you guys at the coaching stream 25 minutes from now. Sign up, and I hope to see some of the new members in the group signing up. I'll see you guys there, and it was fun today to trade some of these stocks, right? So I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye bye.